Welcome to Changepreneurs podcast. We bring conversations that spark change. First off, we would like to thank all our listeners and supporters. We strongly believe that we are driving positive change in the world through these powerful conversations. In this episode, Shirish and me sit down with Sunil Sathyendra, who is a member of Changepreneurs team. This is one of the random conversations that was recorded with or without the intent of getting published. We believe there is incredible value in this conversation. Hope you will enjoy listening as much as we enjoyed making it.
Yes, sir.
So
Continue.
Sunil has said that you need to have a heartbreak to become a good poet.
Yeah. So I don't really subscribe to that philosophy of you need to have a heartbreak to be a good poet.
वो दर्द नहीं आता शायरी में.
Sorry, I haven't written Dharatbari Shairis at all in life. I've written about bumps, I've written about farts, I've written about kites, I've written about shadows, I've written about terraces, I've written about clouds, I've written about dogs, I've written about traffic, I've written about how traffic is good to fall in love with somebody. Quite a lot of outside the Dardbari space.
Coming back to the question, did you ever have a heartbreak, a real heartbreak?
हाँ yeah, हो गया. See, every time I got to know that my crush got married, वो heartbreak था. पर serious वाला एक था, एक या दो थे.
था एक तो था. How did you manage that?
Work was one of those easier aspects. Second, it happened uh, almost on the verge of COVID, and after that, it was like figure out your life first, survival mode first, and then everything else.
So I think there should be a message about this, Sunil, because I see as I coach a lot of young adults and they are unable to handle the heartbreaks. So what is the message you are going to give to these young adults to manage heartbreaks?
I think if I have to look at how I managed, I think my answer is only around those areas. To a large extent, if this one was not the person I was supposed to be with, there'll always be another. And I've always lived life in a way that I've lived and loved life. And I don't want to look at a partner and say, oh, a partner will complete me. I'm complete as is. If a partner comes along, well and great. Otherwise, I have, I have a purpose. I have a dream. I have a space to be with. I have people that I'm friends with. They love me for who I am. There's a purpose to sort of the funds that I raise, the NGOs that I work with, the writing that I do. There is something more to life than love, than getting married. If love happens, marriage happens, then it's a plus. If it does not happen, then I think I asked, and when I got a no, when I got a consistent no, there are mixed signals in between. But I was very sure once a no is always no. I could not be friends with somebody I had feelings for. And I ended up with that conversation saying, what, time out with this. Let's not move as friends. It's the end of the journey. I was very clear that we build our boundaries and we stay with that boundaries. And for me, one of the greatest help was that there is more to life than a failed relationship. And if it's meant to be, it'll also happen later. And if it's an arranged marriage, I can always fall back in love with that person. That time there is no choice. And I'm a romantic at heart, so for me it does not. I will always find reasons to love somebody or ways to love somebody, and that should be fine for what there is, and we should not be bothered about did I lose somebody, did I this thing, and also because I have seen loss at a very personal level, I see that heartbreak is not such a big thing that after you've seen the loss of a loved one, you've seen a lot more in life, and you've seen that life has its own ups and downs. What it takes, it gives you back in another format. So a breakup should not be a breakdown. So yeah, if that is a message, then that's a message.
Very well said. A breakup should not be a breakdown. It's an up, not a down.
And NLP coming into play. So I think that is that. Yeah, I'd say that if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. The faster you close and the faster you do the last right to that relationship, the better it is.
Very well said, Sunil. I think a lot of our youth need to listen to this particular message that you've given.
Yeah, no,
It's
and
very important.
absolutely, absolutely, because uh, always there's a higher purpose for who you are, where you're born, what you're doing. There's always a higher purpose, and in that higher purpose, if that person does not align, then you go ahead with life as is, and you will figure it out. So your grandparents and possibly their generation prior to that always loved each other, majority of mostly, and they found love after getting married. They some of the conversation that I've had with them, the way they care for each other, I didn't think that with Bollywood or with the interpretation of how you fall in love, that suited any of it. But they were still madly passionate about each other, madly in love with each other, caring for each other, being you know partners with each other. It did not have to happen with love. I think we've given too much of importance to falling in love, and doing so in a very Bollywood way. He or she proposes to me in the middle of an ocean. There's blah 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 stuff. Can that happen through a nod, can understanding, or something else? For me, the in a marriage, the relationship after whatever has the ritual of marriage has completed, and years that we live together as individuals, that is more fascinating, and that is more interesting than that event itself being the talk of the town kind of a thing. So it's who we are and how comfortable we are with each other that matters.
To just, just substantiate what you have said is that I got married when I was 33 plus, and
Mm.
ours was a arranged marriage. And like you very rightly said, that it's the journey that makes it so beautiful. It's been what now, 22 years this year, and we're still finding love, still finding a lot more about each other.
It is getting only better, right? Same
It's
in my
getting only
case.
better.
I've been married for almost 15 years now, and every passing year it's getting better and better.
And you find in it sometimes the little things that you find about the other person, other person finds about you, and how both of you are in cohesion, both of you know of your differences and accepting of your differences, and to a large extent living with that differences, all the while respecting each other for who you are. That is something that I see as what I want in a relationship. And I don't want to rush into things that have to be done because everybody should get married. You should get married. And my only question when somebody says, "Oh, you should look for somebody," is what makes you feel that my life is not interesting right now. So yeah.
All right. So,
So if at all this podcast goes live, I'm not sure it will. Maybe it will. I just have an interesting question for you, Sunil. You said that you are complete as is. You are doing all the things, and you're running an NGO, and you're a coach, and you have all the things that you want. So, at such a young age, how did you develop this kind of wisdom and understanding of life?
Hmm. I think I've not been short of dreams. Definitely, yes. I have had realities where whatever I wanted to uh, have not come my way, whatever said and done. Sometimes whatever has come by has been better. And you also know, right? So you are very practical with your life, that sometimes dreams are dreams, and what is reality is what you have to deal with. That aspect has come very very clear with whatever life has. And also that if you need to really work on something, uh, there are people who will support you, there are people who will enable you things to do. But typically, like a coach, you will have to do some of the toughest things yourself. The aspect of you being there for yourself is always. And I remember this conversation with my mom at almost 2:30 in the night, when we were like really going back and forth on this conversation on should I quit my organization or not, and how will I do it? I don't have a plan, etc., etc. And I remember telling mom, saying, I think you're very much in the right space to think of your son and say, will he do well, will he not do well, etc., etc. You are worried as a mom. If you are 10x worried as a mom about your son's future, your son is worried about his future 1000x, because it's his life and his space. And he knows that this journey is not going to be easy. And if he's ready, and if he's going all guns blazing, uh, he wants to do this as much as he wants. So he will get there. So don't worry about it. And that was a conversation at 3 in the night. As soon as she heard it, I think it was 3 in the night. We both of us were sleepy. Plus, I think this hit the nail in that particular place that sealed the conversation, saying, Sunil knows what he's doing.
So this
And
was what, 2-3 years back when you left the job.
now this conversation was when I took a sabbatical. So this is 2018.
Okay.
So I've
Do you
had
want to explain?
multiple adventures, Satish. I think you should host me on the Changepreneurs podcast.
You're already hosting you.
Yeah. What do you think?
So Sunil, the question which I have now is, sorry, Satish, I cut you in. As I see, you have had two major transitions. One when you left the college, and that was one career transition, and one when you decided to leave the corporate job and start your own entrepreneur thing, be a coach and all that. So what's the shift in your thought process between the 2 points? What exactly is the shift in the
I was an
thought
angry young
process?
man, mad about things, saying, "Why am I not getting it? I am doing everything right. I should get something that
Getting what?
I deserve." Kind of a conversation. Now I think there is a very strong acceptance that whatever is an adventure. Whatever is has maybe plans that I'm not aware of, and whatever is happening is for the best to whatever is happening. And every person that I'm meeting is somehow enabling in whatever capacity to get me to where I want to get to. I have crazy levels of trust on things I have no control on, and that was a very difficult thing for a young kid doing and thinking of sabbatical. So this is me doing it, saying I will do my typical Bhagavad Gita conversation. You do your work. I'll take care of the rest. Kind of a scene, and that's how it's been. I have complete faith in whatever is happening. And that's that surrender is to a very large extent the easiest thing there is to do.
So just for my understanding, Sunil, the angry young man at the time when you left the corporate job, when you left the college to join
No, no,
your journey start journey as a career person.
the correction is I planned to leave the college, but I ended up being completing engineering, got into corporate. In corporate, I got into a space where I had a burnout, 2018, and that was when I took a sabbatical. Quitting the job was in 2022,
Mm-hmm.
and both of them were at so in that sabbatical, or prior to that sabbatical, internally I was dead, saying I don't think I have bandwidth anymore to run on something where I have to prove myself constantly. And most of the time, I realized I was proving it to myself that I belong here. And to some extent, I had got to that point that I belong here. And after that, I got to that space saying, I can always be in this place. I've, you know, got the general formula of how it runs, but I'm not really satisfied with the way life is being led, and I don't want to lead a life that is not meaningful to me. And that was the 2018 conversation. 2018, I take a sabbatical. I find out that I am a lovely writer, even beyond writing fiction. I write short stories. I started writing short stories at that point of time. The book sold beautifully, right? So that aspect gave me enough confidence to say, I think I have something else where I belong most naturally. Instead of fitting into things that I can definitely be good at, can I be naturally aligned to things that I am already good at, and from there build money? Because money is something that came in as an equation. To a point, after some point, once you have enough money, the rest of it will not matter. I took the sabbatical when I had possibly a lakh and a half in my bank account. And I was like, I don't care how much money I have. I don't think I have any more energy left to stay in the corporate job. I have to exit. And that's when sabbatical happened. I did about 25 websites, content writing, did two books, was still part of the organizational CSR. Uh, I felt so much at peace. And for the first time in 4.5 years, and possibly for the first time ever in life, I was having breakfast with my grandparents, lunch with my grandparents, and dinner with the family, with zero pressures on delivering goods month on month, day on day. I got addicted to that space, and I was happy. I was getting my money. It may not have come every day, month on month, but I had enough at that space. I go back to corporate. They had promised me an on-site that, and my conversation at that point of time was 2 years back into the system. Go on-site, take around 10, 12 lakhs of savings in the next 2 years, and then switch. And then say, that's the end of the journey. Thank you so much. But what happened with that space was COVID happened. I came back, and that was my first space of coming back. A lot of things had changed. I fell in love, really, really hardcore fell in love, and that did not work out for whatever reasons. COVID happened. COVID was possibly that one conversation that changed my life forever, because that physical distance between me and that person I broke up with was very, very essential. And what happened after that was, I knew practically my chances of going to Germany was zero. And, and I had to start from scratch. And life has given me enough instances where I had to start from scratch, but with experience. So I knew that I had done a sabbatical. I knew I could pull things off. But what happened later became, an out of syllabus thing. Just a random email saying, there was something called as working out loud, and eternally grateful to working out loud. It started by an American guy, John Stepper, and it's a concept where 4 or 5 people are put into a pod or a kind of a circle kind of a thing. Every week for 12 weeks, there are things that you need to do. You start with a goal, and essentially by 12 weeks, the 4 or 5 people that work with you are your friends for life. And that essentially put me in touch with multiple other people from Germany, people from Japan, people from Ukraine, people from Russia, people from Turkey, Japan, even here internally in India. And I realized that all of us are people, right? So we are people and different energies and different aspects of life. And that was the beginning of a space of absolute confidence, and everything took off. So I was part of psychological safety. I was part of volunteering across the globe. I was part of conversations around mentoring, as part of conversations around voices that matter. I was conversations around diversity, equity, inclusion. how generational voices are important in diversity, how say regional voices are important in diversity, how possibly people from different say experience levels, and say I'm an engineer, an MBA, somebody else a shop floor person, all of their stories are valid. They may not be the most romantic stories, they may not have the greatest of answers out there, but all of the stories are valid. And that for me was uh, you know life changing. That there I had seen something in me that given me a confidence to say I've done a sabbatical, I know if I can do all of this. Is not my official work, I can still do something. And everything was going great. I asked then my managers to say, you know what, I think I'm done with software. I will do this. This is more aligned with what I want to do. I knew, and the moment my sabbatical ended, I went back, and COVID happened, and the work that I was doing, that this was Tughlaq Sarkar for me. I did not want to run on this just to get my money and just to get my month on month stuff. And uh, you know, to be very honest, I think I was an engineer because engineering paid my bills. I was good at my engineering, not bad, not anywhere else, but it was not aligned to my soul. And in the next 3 years of COVID, the COVID pandemic essentially got me on my alignment to whatever I wanted to do as an individual, and that was impact, large scale, small scale, but essentially impact for people. And coaching was that magical thing that happened when this aspect of starting from scratch, but starting with experience. I was handling a 2,000 member team around sustainability advocacy and action, and possibly started the first ever time an individual in an organization had done a worldwide campaign on how do we build a sustainable ecosystem. Brought possibly 1,000 members together to run an online workshop slash stuff, like like people coming in and understanding what we're doing as an organizational space. There were a lot of firsts.
Sorry to cut you off there.
Yeah,
So this is the part of your work, or you were doing this exclusively? Meaning, you
I
were also
was
doing engineering and doing this
yeah,
side by side,
what
or
engineering is what I was built for,
okay?
and the rest was what I was famous for, right? So that's the space. I was working with volunteers. I had a 700 member team of volunteers who are going on every 2 weekends or 3 weekends once. They're going to volunteer for projects. I knew that I was able to do it, and my alignment was on working with people. I had worked with the program, semi-designed some of it in terms of how do we mentor students who come from corporates, students from come into corporates for an entire year. I knew I had the goods, and I knew I was in alignment at that point of time. Complete resonance. I was doing 100 things, but at all 100 things, I knew I was completely good at it, complete focus, complete passion. And imagine my surprise when I go and ask my manager, saying, I want to do this. The manager said, Sunil, I think you are the best judge for whatever you want to do. Full support to whatever you want to do. The same structure, I run around the entire organization to see if there is a job for me that looks aligned to whatever I'm doing. Somehow it reaches the organization aspect of being at the president's desk. And a long story short, my most heavily disappointed space, more disappointing than the breakup, was this one. That somebody, the president had said that I have a job for you. But then after that, I spoke to somebody who was at the CHRO level. They did an interview. I said, this is what I want, this is what I don't want. Then 3 weeks later, which was my last week still in the organization, I had lost hope on the organization, saying this is BS. These guys are not delivering on what they're delivering. And the call comes from the president saying, Sunil, I think I have a job for you. And this is the job. And I said, give it to me in writing, put it as an email, please. Otherwise, I don't think it's a count, because I have to now go back to my team and say, my paper has to be revoked. I have to stay in the organization. For the next 7 days, I called everybody, through WhatsApp, through calls, through Skype, through Teams, through every mode of communication except knocking on their doors. and saying, where's my job? No answers. And I was like, this is the death for me in terms of waiting for things to happen. I will make things happen. And that's what I've been doing all my life. I've not waited for things to happen. I will do whatever I want to do. Uh, be it, if it needs me to go through hell and come back, I will do it. So that was angry young man blood. So I'm just putting all of those factors back into play, and that was angry young man blood. So now looking at life, saying if I had not gone through that suffering, I would not be the person I am today, and I would never have possibly found out coaching, and possibly we would never have started Changepreneurs. Or you may have started Changepreneurs, and I may not been there.
Mm.
So heartbreak does really matter to bring that thing out in you.
I think it builds character,
It
Srish.
builds character, yes. So,
And yeah, I think I've never looked at myself and said these are failures and I failed. I think I've looked at it and said, I think I've had times where I've had my own imposter syndrome conversations. But some of these conversations, when I play back, I'm like, if I've done that, whatever I'm currently going through is manageable.
Satish, I'll just put in a word here. So, in between the whole thing that he mentioned, that he put in the thing that coaching happened, and he really loves that space. And I would, it was so much resonating with me. So, whenever we talk about the coaching space, and most of the people say there is no ROI, there is no future after coaching, this, that, and the other. Most of the coaches have this complaint against this particular profession. What they don't realize is the real ROI is that when you are learning this particular craft, the change that comes within you. I myself have experienced that change. It is more than any other ROI that you can get from this particular space. It's so enriching. It enriches a person. Just learning how to coach is so enriching. Going through the whole process of learning, then doing those peer coaching sessions, which may or may not bring that particular topic that you're wanting to talk, but it brings a change in you, brings a change in a person, and it's really a very beautiful space. In fact, everybody should be made to go through this process of learning how to coach.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely. I think it is true.
So I was just going to say, a couple of days back, I wrote a post in our group, right, saying that without Sunil, Changepreneurs would not have happened. Because I was doing the podcasting solo, and I didn't have the confidence to face a camera or speak unprepared. So here was the man that I reached out, and he said yes for my first ever video podcast. And then I went on to host a few people. Then I built the confidence, and then here we are a team of people from everywhere, and now doing this together. So without Sunil, Changepreneurs would not have happened. So what
very true.
happened to your work and everything that happened to you at that time in 2022 is leading to where we are right now.
Yeah. True. Absolutely true, Satish. And I think that conversation that we just had, and just sitting back with that, saying, if not for this uh, thing that had happened, I don't think I'd be here. That let go of so much of energy that I had, saying, "Oh, I've been cheated. I deserved this. This didn't happen, etc." So whatever is happening, I am true sitting with you 100% in this moment, and I've lived moment by moment after this space, and in the most Sunil way possible, Sunil can exist. That's the only way I've lived. That's been the easiest. That's been the most fascinating space to be in, and I've never felt that, oh, did I do something right? Did I not do something right? I'd always come with saying, can I make this right for me? Right? It's as simple as that. And I think she brought about the aspect of coaches and ROI. I think coaches come with that notion that just because I am credentialed / I know what coaching is, or I am a good coach, that the world has to come and fall at your feet saying, "Jana apna
आ जाओ बॉस आ जाओ कोच कर दो हमें
you will have to build the trust, you will have to build XYZ, See, just having a website, just having your great reels, etc., putting yourself out there is not going to get you results. It is maybe part of one of those equations to get people to know about you. But if when people know about you, if your skill set is not up to the mark, you're always at a disadvantage. So that is where I've always been, go to your skill set, build on that, build on that, build on that. And when you're good at your job, slowly things start to trickle in. And I think, Shish has given me that COC tagline saying coach of coaches. I've also proudly put it out, very, very recently, saying that is what it is. There is no running away from that bliss and not shying away from that compliment, saying, and or maybe one of the other aspects of what I've learned, what I've changed is how gracefully I accept compliments. I think that I used to always say, "Oh, I didn't do anything. It was my team." Blah blah blah, stuff like that. That changed after I got into coaching, after I got into that aspect of how comfortable I am with myself, and I am complete. I may have flaws. I definitely do have spaces I should work with. I want to work with, but that does not mean that I am any less. Right? I am existing today, and that means there is a purpose for my existence, and I'm happy to go ahead with that belief that there's a purpose. And if so, can I align to that, and can I make whatever I think is that alignment, make it my uh, blood sweat and tears kind of a conversation and put everything into it? And why will it not work? And if it is not working as what I want it to be, can I make it work for me? And Essentially, I am enjoying this process of making it work, so at no point am I disappointed about anything else. So it just aligns.
So I'll share a story now, Satish, with you and Sunil. I don't know whether Sunil remembers this or not. So I was very new in this coaching field, and there was this particular question that came up. I was not even accredited then. That what should a coach do if the client says that I need your support in carrying out the actionable, something to the point, and I put that question in, and there are a lot of answers coming from the community groups that we know that every coach comes up with an answer. So I received a call suddenly, and that was from our Nimma coach, and we had a good conversation, almost what 15-20 minutes conversation, and he sort of helped me with understanding this particular uh, point. And that was my first interaction with Sunil. And thereafter, I don't think we interacted much till Changepreneurs happened. So that was it. And I'm very, very listening to all this, what you said. And you also mentioned that mentoring uh, students who are transitioning in the corporate world or maybe the first year of their corporate. So, what is that one thing that you would like to tell these people now that you've gone through this whole process? What they should do at that stage to make their life more meaningful?
I think they should look at themselves and put a mirror to who they are. I think that question, Ramana Maharshi said, "Who am I?" And I think I would ask you, "Who are you?" Can you find answers to that? Maybe not, like in one shot, but ask that question and see what answers come by. Uh, because I reflected on who I am, I think I was always a lot more present to what I could do and what all possibilities could come with whatever I have. And that was that. I took nobody's permission to do stuff, which I think now the generation does not need permission to do what they want to do. They are good at their job. But aspect, I think one I see is that space of resilience to start from scratch, but start from experience. And that's maybe my 2 cents to it, or my expression of the fact that I think there is a space there for us, the next generation, to look at resilience, to look difficult times in the eye and say, you know what, I think I'm better than you, or I will be. We can be friends, and possibilities can come by, and also to trust your instincts, pivot when there is misalignment, pivot. If there's a need to ask, saying, "Am I aligned?" Go to a coach, go to a mentor, go to a friend. But essentially, do not end up in a space where you are successful in terms of what somebody else deems a success. But you look at yourself, and I don't think you would be able to look at yourself in the mirror. Can you build that space where you're looking at yourself in the mirror and smiling and says, "Oh wow, I think I'm meeting somebody fascinating, wonderful. I'm beautiful." And that aspect, yeah, absolutely. And my mom, we've officially recorded this podcast. My mom will definitely kill me for this because I'm not in a podcastable attire. My hair's all over the place. uh, right. So, but essentially, whatever I've spoken is making sense to people. I am assuming out of the 1 hour stuff that I've spoken, there should be at least one thing that is a takeaway for them. So, uh, look beyond metrics of how are they looking, or what are they wearing, to what are they sharing and who they are. And also ask again, who am I? Is that answer, that question itself brings so many answers. And once you find those answers, you will look at yourself differently. And at the end of the day, no one lives your life except you. So
There is
that
a
possibly is a
proverb, right?
message that I can definitely add. Yeah, Satish.
Yeah, there is a proverb that people say, right? Um, everybody else is taken. Be yourself.
Yeah. Except you know, everybody else is already taken.
Very, very nice thing, Satish Sunil just mentioned. Find your success, not what other people think your success is. It's very important. And
Yeah.
another thing which I take away from this is believe in yourself. Your life is a lot more purpose in it. The all conversation we had in last 1 hour or so, we started with, you know, very on a very light note,
Right.
making fun and joke, and suddenly the gears changed and
To see the way we have brought it to here, it's really fascinating to shift that drastically from how we started to how we are right now.
and see, it was not planned. It's a normal conversation between friends. That's what
Right.
it is.
That's
It's
yeah.
actually it's not a podcast. It's a conversation, like we might be having, sitting in a coffee shop and having this conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and also it is coming from that comfort, Shresh and Satish, that I know you, and this is space, and I am very happy to be vulnerable and say this is what I am feeling. In whatever I've said, we started with my crushes and how it all started. I was very, very conscious of how, if they were to listen to it, I did not want to color their canvas in a different way. And I've always said that in all my answers strategically and humorously have stayed away from putting them in a spot they don't want to be. So I think that conversation always adds value to what there is.
Sure
And
does.
podcasting for me has always been about conversations that add value.
True,
Listeners, this
very
was
true.
not planned. If this is going out as a podcast,
Yeah. I think life is not planned. I think that's why I said I have now faith in all systems that be, that if it's meant to be, it'll be, and that possibly is also why I'm still single. If it's meant to be, it will be, and if this is what it is right now, and that's absolutely fantastic.
let's go cheer for RCB from today. I'm not a cricket fan.
I think yeah, it would be a fascinating space with RCB, right? I went to the first match, the first ever IPL match that was played. In the stands, I am a Brendan McCullum fan, right? I am a Brendan McCullum fan. At that point, smashing the hell out of RCB bowlers at that point of time. I remember everybody else chanting for RCB, and I was like, RCB, let RCB win. But Brendan McCullum is playing fascinating cricket. I'm a lover of the game, right? So let him hit sixes and fours or whatever, but we will come back and hit you stronger. So that was the deal that was. But it has been a fascination with RCB, and also at a very deep level in terms of how, irrespective of year on year, they come and give their best shot. even if the title is not ours, we don't play any lesser. And even if I'm still single and if I'm not found who I have to find, my life is not less in any ways.
I'm giving it my best shot.
I'm giving it my best shot with all guns blazing.
All guns blazing. Okay, Satish, I think I'll
We
have to
arrived at
drop
some
off now.
space of yeah.
My companion is waiting for me to take him for a walk now. It's
Yeah.
6:30. That's the time I come back home, and he's sitting at the gate,
Yeah.
looking forward to
But
my coming in.
absolutely.
Okay,
And I
okay,
think
guys. Then
very, very interesting timeline. So let's do this more often. I am happy to share my thought processes. But just let me know a little bit in advance. I'll come little better attired.
no problem. Thank you so much, Sunil, for
Okay,
opening up
thank you,
and
Sunil. Thank
sharing
you
your
for
stories.
sharing all the stories. Like it is wonderful knowing all about your journey.
Always,
It
always. I
is. It
remember
feels so
your first
energizing to
conversation
hear your
saying how
stories.
you connected with honest astrologer and then came into it. I may not remember the exact answer I gave, but the context in which we spoke, I still remember.
Right. Okay.
Done,
Okay,
done,
guys.
Chalo.
done.
Thanks
Bye.
for listening. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye, bye,
Bye.
bye.